Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nossos programas oferecem vários idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Stories, crafts, songs, dances, cultures, science, young talents, and heroes around the world. All these and more you can find on Kids Wonderland. Continue watching for the first episode. Appreciate what you have.
Greetings, angelic viewers. I'm Chaya. The wonderful people of Cambodia are always happy to see God's beautiful creations on earth. We are excited to have you join us today on Kids Wonderland, a new addition to our Supreme Master Television programs this year. It's a place for kids and adults with young hearts to go on adventures, learn new things, and have fun together. Now, let's jump on a magic carpet and travel to India for story time. India is a country in the continent of Asia with thousands of years of history. Many great spiritual masters were born in India, including the venerated Shakyamuni Buddha. The Buddha has reincarnated numerous lifetimes on earth to help all beings realize their true God nature within. Many of Buddha's stories from different lifetimes were collected in the Jataka tales. Today, we present one of those stories called The Monkey and the Peas.
A long, long time ago, in the kingdom of India, there lived a king who ruled his people with compassion and wisdom. He always listened to the good advice of his trusted friend, the chief counselor.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Under their leadership, the kingdom was prosperous and peaceful. One day, the king and his counselor went out to the forest. As they camped outside at night, they fed their horses with peas. It happened that a family of monkeys lived nearby. A young monkey slid off the branch above the horses and began stuffing the peas into hands and mouth.
Here is one. Here is another one. I will get them all. Yum, yum.
Then he retreated back to the tree to eat. But before he had even started to chew, he noticed that there was one pea still on the ground.
Wait a minute. I missed one. I have to get it.
Not wasting a second, he jumped down to get it. As he landed on the ground to look for the missing pea, all the other peas fell out of his mouth and hands.
Oh no, my peas! My precious peas!
By then, he noticed that the men had seen him, and he quickly dashed back up the tree, looking very glum and with an empty stomach. All the while, the king and his counselor had been watching the melodramatic monkey scene. The king asked the counselor for some wisdom about what had taken place before their eyes.
Dear friends, do you know what the counselor said? Why did the poor little monkey end up with nothing? Here is what the counselor said to the king.
Almighty King, the monkey just showed us what greed can bring us. Instead of appreciating what he already had, he became greedy for a little gain and ended up with nothing.
Hearing the wise words of the counselor, the king vowed to always remember the lesson from the monkey and the peas and be grateful for everything God has given him. From then on, the king ruled his kingdom with even more compassion and mindfulness.
Can you guess which character in the story is the incarnation of the Buddha? That's right, the wise counselor. Did you like this story? We should also be like this king, always appreciative for what we have, don't you think? I hope you share the story with your friends and family. Now let's get up and dance to a happy tune. Dear viewers, we are going to take a short walk while some uplifting messages are aired. We'll be right back with more fun programs. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. Appreciate what you have on Kids Wonderland. Puzzle time!
There is one thing that all living beings cannot live without. Humans need it, animals need it, and plants need it. It is invisible, has no smell, and cannot be touched. What is it?
I know, it's air. Air is made up of different gases, such as nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and many others. Humans and animals need the oxygen and air to live, while plants depend on the carbon dioxide. Do you know where oxygen comes from? From trees and plants, that's right. With help from the sun and rain, trees and plants convert the carbon dioxide we breathe out to make oxygen in a process called photosynthesis. That is why we need lots and lots of trees and plants.
Springtime, a time of renewal, rebirth, and shorts that are probably too short for me to be wearing. As you can see, the splendor of nature is in full bloom in Ms. Rhea's classroom.
Whoa, this jade plant is growing like crazy. It must be because it has such a primo location to soak up the sun.
Well, Justine, you're certainly right that plants need sunlight to grow. But does anyone know what the plants do with the sun?
Plants use the sun to make their own food. Photosynthesis is Greek for make with light.
That's right, Dimitri. In fact, I was just about to show you all a documentary on that very subject.
Yes!
Here we are in the Amazon, the world's largest rainforest. Take a moment to marvel at how plants turn mere sunlight into these massive wooden columns and leafy canopies.
Hello, old friend, and a most pleasant vernal equinox to you.
Oh, hi, Blossom. Great documentary, huh?
Well...
Uh-oh.
Seeing images of my rainforest brethren is truly a delight, but I think you might want to check where you get your videos. That narration was overgrown with inaccuracy.
So, Blossom, where exactly did our narrator lead us astray this time? Not that I like to make a habit of agreeing with him, but I'm fairly certain that plants make their own food from sunlight, and the food, in turn, makes them grow.
Plants do make food in the presence of sunlight. I'm a bit of a gourmet chef myself. I specialize in locally sourced vegan dishes. But the energy from sunlight doesn't become the branches and leaves. Trees' new structures are actually formed mostly from carbon dioxide and water.
So that's why you weren't a fan of that documentary.
Maybe it'd be helpful to see what Amar took from the rainforest video.
Take a moment to marvel at how plants turn mere sunlight into these massive wooden columns and leafy canopies.
Oh no, plants don't magically convert sunlight into some kind of leaf buffet.
Don't let your petals get all wilted, Isabella. We just need to be careful with what students take from these shortcuts. In this case, we need to make sure it's clear that energy isn't what becomes matter.
Okay, we've got some interesting ideas on the table. Now let's think back to those giant canopy trees in the rainforest documentary. Where do you think they get enough food to grow that big?
Well, if there's no one feeding them plant food from the box, I guess it's got to come from somewhere else, like the soil.
Another common response. It looks like Justine isn't quite connecting her chemistry with her biology.
Oh, totally. Wait, what do you mean by that?
It's difficult for students to think of a gas like carbon dioxide being able to form something as massive and substantial as a giant tree. But a chemical reaction doesn't have to start with a solid like soil and end with a solid like a tree. Looking at the equation for photosynthesis is one concrete way to explain the chemical process. Take carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light energy to make glucose or sugar and oxygen.
I knew that.
Oh, man. Once I get my students to memorize the photosynthesis equation, these misconceptions should die off.
I appreciate your enthusiasm and plant-based similes. But having students interpret the equation is only part of the overall strategy. Going back to Justine, she's having trouble imagining how something as insignificant as gas contributes to all that wood.
Hey, I'm a science teacher, and sometimes the thought is surprising even to me.
It is pretty staggering, but it can be really helpful to have students reason through other examples of simple chemical reactions in which gases contribute to solids, like rust, for example.
I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm grateful for your help.
Thank you, and you're welcome. It's a perfect cycle of gratitude. To discover more about how kids learn science and the types of misconceptions they might have, visit us online at scienceeducation.si.edu/goodthinking.
We all know greenery is important, but in the past 20 years, we've lost lots of trees. Do you know why? There are many reasons. One of the main reasons is that some people have been cutting down trees to clear land for raising livestock animals as human food. So that means if we do not eat animals, we can save lots of trees. Another reason is that we have been using trees to make paper. If we reduce paper use, we can also save trees. To save paper, we can do the 3 R's: reduce, recycle, and reuse. For example, instead of throwing toilet paper rolls away, we can make arts and crafts with them. The horse looks amazing, doesn't it? Let's remember to follow the 3 R's every day. Reduce, recycle, and reuse. And we will save lots of trees. Creative kids, we hope you enjoyed our show today. Appreciate what you have. We welcome your fresh ideas and input to help us improve our brand new program, Kids Wonderland. Please email us at suprememastertv.com/KW. Up next is from the Essene Humane Gospel of Christ, the salvation of the world, the birth of Yeshua, part 2 of 2, on words of wisdom, right after noteworthy news. May we always retain our pure childlike nature and treat all beings with love and kindness.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/KW